Hi, welcome back. I'm John. And a few weeks ago, we had a video about a $50 survival kit that we got off Amazon, and we kind of tested it out, and it was a hard pass. So I thought, why not make a better one for $50 or less? We're going to get pretty basic. That other kit had a lot of stuff you would never use, and it was garbage. It was just so they could sell it as a extensive survival kit. But in our testing, it didn't even make it through the single use that it should have been. The purpose of this kit is not to go camping for a week. It's not to go, I'm gonna go on a hike purposely overnight. The purpose of this kit is if you get injured or lost and you, for some reason, you need to stay overnight, stay a little bit longer, that's what this is for. This is not a backpacking survival kit. It's just like a one night save your life. You got stranded up there. This is the kit that we got off of Amazon. So this is what it looks like. It is jam packed full of just garbage. The container's pretty good, except for it's a sling pack. And when I was walking around with it, it was sliding around and it would dig into your neck. There was no padding on it or anything like some of the slings have. So I don't even think I would use that for a survival kit that you're gonna be hiking in the mountains with. Maybe one you'd put in the car. The first thing that I would say is important that you need is water. If you run out of water, you're going to need water. I always go to these Life Straws. These Life Straws are 4-packs. I think they're like $35 to $40 for a 4-pack of them. The thing I like about this is you can drink out of any running water, body of water. You don't want to drink out of puddles, it'll clog it up, but anything that's pretty clear, it'll work good for you. You can use the tablets too, which we do have some of those, but I'm not including it in this kit just because if I'm going to be in the mountains, I'm going to have my Life Straw with me. Before, in my other videos, we find a container and then we build the pack off of that. Well, I've since learned that that's a big mistake because we always end up putting too much stuff in there. So you want to get your stuff together and then find a backpack or whatever you want to use to put it in after you have your stuff together. So you have water, which is this, and then you're going to need shelter of some sort. If it's wintertime, you're going to need to kind of rearrange some stuff, make sure you got more stuff for winter. I always carry, it's camouflage. I always do the camouflage of green for some reason. Mylar blanket, emergency blanket, space blanket, whatever you want to call it, poncho. And the cool thing about these is they are disposable, but you can reuse them. And then this is the same thing, but it's an emergency sleeping bag. So if I need to stay the night, I can have a little bit of barrier underneath me and around me. And then I can use this as a tarp to build the shelter with. So that's the shelter we got taken care of. You're going to need fire if you're in an area and it's super cold, or you need to boil water or cook something. So I always have a lighter. This is a lighter wrapped in duct tape. A lot of people will put fishing gear in there when they wrap the duct tape. I don't. If I'm going to need to do something, I'll kill a squirrel or something. I'm not going to go fishing. And then, so I always have a backup. These are fire starter matches. They're kind of big and bulky. So what I would do is I'd take a couple out of the package and just take a couple. And I actually had used part of one because they're fire starters too. I broke one in half and I started a fire with that. So I have this part. This red part will strike on any matches, any match strike. So it's pretty cool. And each one of these will last up to 12 minutes. So even if you have pretty wet wood, that should get you, or you're really bad at building fires, that should get you started. Like I said, I wouldn't carry the whole box though. The reason I'm putting my lighter in a baggie is if the lighter gets wet, it's done for. And you can use, if you want ferro rod or anything else, you can use as many backup methods as you want. I always get my stuff on clearance or on sale. If it's online, on Amazon, I'll put it in a cart I'll put it on a wish list or something, and it will email you when the stuff goes on sale. Or when I have a little bit extra money, I'll go and check and see what I need to do to add to this kind of stuff. And I always buy all this stuff right here. I always buy it in multi-packs, 4 or 5, 10 if I can, because it's cheaper per item. And because they're disposable, you're going to go through them. So you don't have to worry about wrapping it up, putting it back in your kit for the next time you need to use it. You can throw it away when you get home and put a new one back in your kit when you restock it. So we got the fire taken care of, and you're gonna need a good knife. This is gonna be the bulk of your cost. It can go as expensive as you want or as cheap as you want, but you get what you pay for. To me, it's like a firearm. It's whatever you prefer. There is no right answer. There's some wrong answers, but there's not necessarily the one right answer. You're gonna want a good knife that's full tang. All I need to say, if you want a folding knife, use a folding knife. If you want a really expensive brand, get a really expensive brand. This one, I got a Tractor Supply for $20. It's a SOG, so it's a name brand. It's just SOG's field knife, and it's very basic. It's just a knife. It does have a window breaker or something on the end. It is full tang. It does have a thick ridge here, so you can baton with this. If you don't know what that is, that's when you stick it in the wood and you take another piece of wood and you bang it so you can split wood with it. Cool thing about this thing is it's light, really light. And if you look right there, you can see there's a cord cutter, and it's part of the sheath. If you look right there, you can see there's a cord cutter, and that's for when you cut paracord or whatever. And it's just in the sheath. It's not a separate part of the knife, so that's really cool. And this is probably 4 ounces, 5 ounces. It's not real heavy. So on a survival standpoint, a backpacking standpoint, it's really good because it's lightweight. Here's one that I like. This is razor sharp. That's a field knife. It's Ocera. I don't know how to say it. Blade on the top, so you can baton with it. I've used it quite a bit, and it's really well balanced. It comes with a Kydex sheath. I really like that one. I think that one was close to 30. I don't know for sure. It might have been 20. I buy so many of these things, I don't remember the pricing. This one is just a regular hunting knife that was given to me as a gift. If you don't have a good knowledge of knives or what's a good knife, what's not, just go to the sporting goods store and ask them questions. Pretty much anything in those glass cases are going to be worth buying. But you can take a cheap knife and sharpen it up and make it a decent knife too. It's whatever your budget is. So I would say no less than $20 on a knife. You can get a pretty decent one for that. You're also going to need some lighting. You can go with headlamps. It's pretty good. This is what I use for working. I buy these bulk. I have like 20 of those around the house. Dollar store flashlight minimum. It's just a AAA 99-cent Ozark Trail. And they actually work pretty decent for what they are. And then I always put light sticks. These are green, obviously. I buy these in a package of 20, 30, 50, depending on what I buy. And they're anywhere from 20 to 50. They're about $1 a piece, 80 cents to $1 a piece. So however many you want, these are 6-inch. They will last 36 hours, and it's just to give you ambient light. Or you can actually tie a rope around it, and if you need to, you can swing it in a circle for signal too. So these are really good for that. Let me tell you a little bit about paracord that I learned. Paracord does not mean it's going to hold 550 pounds. Paracord 550 is actually the stock number for the paracord of the military stock number, from my understanding. Some of them will hold quite a bit of weight, but just one string of paracord is not, you're not going to tow a car out of it, or, it's not a 550 pound necessarily. Good paracord, not the cheap stuff. This is Titan. I like Titan brand for some reason. They seem to have good quality products. Everything I've tested seems to be good. It's 100 feet of it. I put about 25 feet in my survival kit, my backpacking kit. I carry 100 feet with me when I go hunting, camping, things like that. I just always do. If you get lost, you're gonna need a compass. You're not good at going back the direction you came. You're gonna need to at least find your way north, east, or west, because you're gonna need to find your way to the road. If you don't have a compass, follow the river down. This is just a cheap scout compass I got from one of my kids when they were in Cub Scouts. I think I paid $3 for it. You can use it with maps. You can just use it to find your way. I put one of these in everything. Some of the kits, some of the survival items you get, like survival knives, things like that, they have compasses on them. If you buy something that has a compass on it, make sure you know where north is and see if that compass works. All that compass is good for is north, east, south, and west. It's not going to get you, you're not going to have any orienteering on it anyway. So I learned it in Scouts and forgot it. So kind of screwed when it comes to that. So we got all this stuff, and now first aid. Chances are, if you're needing to overnight or something like that, you're probably injured or lost. Those are the two scenarios. And if you're injured, you're going to need enough medical care with you to fix a sprain. And that's why you need a knife and stuff to fashion a crutch or something. Fix a sprain, fix some bad cuts, just get you through the next 12 to 24 hours. Because that's any more than 24 hours, at least in our area, you're going to have search and rescue out there after you. So I just made this together. I just put this together. I have a ton of stuff. You can get a kit, and that would be about $20 to $30. So you would be over the 50 at this point between the knife and the first aid if you bought everything. But I'm not telling you to buy everything. I'm telling you to use what you have. I put this together. It's some 4x4s for blood, tourniquet. Always have a tourniquet. Even if you don't have anything else, make sure you have a tourniquet with you. Some DAWs, self-adhesive bandage for sprains and things. And also, I have a single-use sunscreen, single-use lip balm. This is deep blue, but you can use anything. It's a single-use muscle fatigue, like icy hot type stuff. Because you're going to have a cramp, you're going to have a cut, you're going to have blisters. I would put some moleskin in. I don't have moleskin in this one. I usually do. I don't. You don't always need a good Band-Aid over a blister will help too, so you don't always need it. So I always like to put them in small little plastic bags, keep everything together. You can use whatever you want. Buy a kit or whatever. And then I would throw in, if you got some room, this is Tylenol, just basic meds that you would need for allergic reaction, pain, that kind of thing. If you need any life-saving meds, whatever it is, if you need it, always carry an extra dose. Albuterol for my wife. But if you have any like life-saving meds, if you're diabetic or anything, make sure you have extra stuff in your kit that's not necessarily on you. So it's always in your kit. Every kit you make, put your meds in your kit. So you can have one in your car or your backpack, whatever. Every survival kit, 72-hour kit, evacuation kit needs to have your life-saving meds, at least a day or two. Okay, so that's part of our medical. And then I would throw in a couple extra food, not necessarily, you got room, then throw in an MRE or something like that, but you want this as food that you're not planning on eating on your trip. So you have your lunch or whatever, your food you're gonna eat while you're on your hike or whatever, pack a little bit extra. I like to put in just tuna fish because it gives you good protein, fat. It's not a lot of fat, but there's some, it's good for you. If you don't like fish, there's chicken, there's all kinds of stuff. But it's something you can just rip open and eat. This is another tuna fish meal. It's got some tomatoes and stuff in it. The reason I like these packages, they're like $1 a piece. They're not expensive. Put in a little bit of hard candies or something for sugar. If you like the sugar beans, the jelly endurance beans or whatever, put a package of those in there. Some raisins, something. That's specifically for your blood sugar. So all this, I had tested it, all this fit into this container here. This is a fanny pack from years ago. Got your water here, and it all fit in there. That's not very practical, but there's a new trend going around with chest packs that are like that, but they go around on your chest just so you can get to everything. Or a fanny pack in the front that goes around your back, so it's a little awkward. I like backpacks myself, and this one would be a little big for this. That way you can pack a little bit extra if you need to. But so we would just, all this. My knife I would wear, but I'd put in the kit so you have it with you. Compass I would put in the front pocket, same with the lights and the fire. This I would need to put around my neck or in the front pocket. Food, and I would have, like I said, if I was going for a day, this is just extra. This is for if I can't make it home. I have an MRE or whatever I decided to fix for my hike. This is extra, so that's why it's not very much. But you need to have something extra. And that goes in there. Maybe a couple extra granola bars. If you like these and you have room for it in your kit, put a light pen in there. Rain and the sun and things like that, it really can help. It's not gonna keep you very warm, but it is another layer of protection. I could put every one of those in my kit if I have room. If I don't, I use a tarp for that. Maybe throw an extra blanket in there. You can never have too many. This is not included in that $50, but I would put one in there. Everybody carries these. This is a power bank, a charge bank for your phone. Everybody has them. Just make sure when you go on a hike or something like that, if you don't have one specifically that you put in the kit, make sure it's charged and throw it in there. I like the ones that have the solar so I can hang it on the outside. This one actually does have a compass that works. And they got tons of room left. This is just a regular size book bag that you would have for a 9-year-old going to class. It just happens to be camouflage. All that stuff will definitely fit in this bag or a bag this size. You can go with those two. I'll put this over here. A couple of videos back, we made one that goes in the car. And this has everything in there. Doesn't have any food in this kit. but it also has has some cons. It has a radio, things like that in here. So yeah, you got my life tents, all that stuff. This is my communications pouch. It has one of those chargers, my Baofeng, my life straw, folding knife, my light, glow sticks. It also has a multi-tool. Now I wouldn't put this on. This is not something I would go hiking with. And then this one has all my meds in there. Tourniquet, way more than what I put in that kit. And then that just folds up and goes under the seat in my truck. So it's basically the same thing, except for not as good of a knife. And this doesn't have any fire stuff in there other than a lighter, I think. And this is actually a tool pouch that we used, and it folds up like this and goes right underneath the seat. So you can use any container you want. Anything can be repurposed. If I'm gonna go hiking, I want a backpack. And I want one that has a little bit extra room so that I can carry extra water, extra food. If I need to carry, put my coat in there or anything like that, it has extra room for that. A lot of times when you're hiking, you're gonna get blisters. And that's majority of injuries that you see when people are hiking is something to do with their foot. It's a foot injury, whether it's blisters, sprained ankle, something like that. And a good pair of socks can fix that, along with some Band-Aids can help you with the blisters. Search and rescue, first thing they're gonna do is put you in some dry socks and some dry clothes, build a fire, get you warmed up. That's what that kit is made for you to do, is to get past that. The stuff, like I said, the stuff in this kit, it looked cool, have a bunch of survival items that were worthless, that you would never use, or if you did use them, it might get you through half a use. But like I said, I like these better. This had a hatchet in it, survival hatchet. It was worthless. A good knife will get you through pretty much any situation you need to get through. I hope that helps. Don't waste your money on these kits from Amazon. Put some money together, build your own kit, or find a good reputable source that makes them, a good company. Those are really expensive though. If you have any questions, anything I missed, anything you want to see, put it in the comments, and we'll catch you next time.